So you and I, we watch our years go by, we watch our sweet dreams fly far away.
There's 25% less oxygen on the planet today than 100 years ago. One of the reasons is, anybody have any idea why there's less oxygen on the planet today than 100 years ago?
Less trees?
You got it. Less trees, that's simple. Don't you think it would be a smart idea to have some plants in your house, and especially in your bedroom? Plants that take in poisons and give off oxygen? Or if you're a big shot, you can have that guy come with a canister every day, you know? Oh, bit pain. If you really want to understand cancer with respect to fatty acids, here it is. Published about 6 months ago, Susan, 9 months ago?
Yeah.
Hasn't been out for a year yet. Hidden Story of Cancer. This book will wake a lot of people up. He only had a couple of mistakes. I had to call him and straighten them out on him. But he was very appreciative. By Bryan Peskin. Okay? Actually, it's not too difficult to read. And they've known basically the cause of cancer since Otto Warburg from 1910 to 1960. Cancer is just an industry, folks. That's all it is anymore. Anyways, cancer comes in. The cancer impairs the delta 6 enzyme. So does diabetes. So does stress hormones. So does too much sugar. So do carcinogens and toxins. In other words, this is the machinery that makes the membranes of your whole body and replaces them. Well, if you're rusting and making them, you anti-age and you repair things. And from these fats are then made eicosanoids. You know what those are. You know, prostaglandins, leukotrienes, thromboxans, lymphoxins. Run that by your doctor. He hasn't heard of the 4 words yet. He's got 23 years at school. Okay? So what happens is that these things, they are like traffic cops. They orchestrate everything at the cell level. You know, 2 million of them stand up and go, time to pee. It's like one note. Up to 2,000 of them per second per cell are sending off their notes. It's unbelievable what we don't know when you think about it. So these things are only going to be there if you have the right fats there. Trans fat stops up here, clogs everything. There's none of this made. If we don't make this, the blood vessel doesn't open. He's not making it with fibromyalgia, so he has a cold nose. It's 85 degrees out. His bloody nose is as cold as ice. There's other people when they're diseased. Cold nose, 85 degrees out, sitting on a beach. The frickin' nose is like a, you know, icicle. Cold hands, cold feet. So this is the vasodilator. Opens up your blood vessels. One of the keys we see in a lot of these illnesses for people that eat processed food all the time is lack of blood flow to the temporal lobe of the brain. That's short-term memory, irritability, anxiety, panic attacks. You go on the fats, you go through this regime, all that disappears. Horobin was a specialist in this area because we know schizophrenia is a deficiency of prostaglandin 1. He was head of the Schizophrenic Association from the United Kingdom for 10 years. I have taken 3 or 4 schizophrenics who are no longer schizophrenics now. They were diagnosed, they were schizophrenics for 15 years. They are no longer schizophrenics. They're now geniuses. Because you're this far from being a schizophrenic or an alcoholic to being a genius. Alcoholics is a deficiency of prostaglandin 1. That's why you crave alcohol. So the ethyl is basically a cure for alcoholism physiologically. The problem is when you're on it, your ability to drink without getting drunk goes up tenfold. Don't you ever use that for secret information in a bar. Because you'll destroy your liver 10 times. Okay? Prostaglandin 2, if you're making too much of that, that is an imbalance of these fats at the cell level. That's inflammation. So that, not enough of this and making too much of this is what's behind fibromyalgia. It's what's behind arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. It's what's behind, and it gets deeper than this because there's a thing called leukotrienes involved. But all your itis type illnesses with pain is this imbalance. I will give you a good example, okay, in pain tolerance that happens when you're on these fats. Now I've been on this regime 3-in-1 for 19 years, all right? And of course, according to the doctors, I should have turned into a female by now, but trust me, I'm not. Oh, you can ask Valerie there. I mean, don't take evening primrose oil, it increases estrogen. That's what they think. It doesn't increase estrogen, it increases prostacyclin. So breast cancer patients, the first thing they'll tell you is, don't ever take evening primrose oil with breast cancer. Guess what they're being told? Not to take the one thing that will save their life. Not because they mean to, they just don't get it. They don't understand the science. They think because it's been used for 2 decades for PMS, in Europe, prescription even, that it must increase estrogen. Crazy, crazy nonsense. So you can see
Actually,
it.
what I have gathered that it does end up doing, prostaglandins, it helps to rebalance.
It balances them,
your
absolutely.
hormones.
It balances
I
your
have a
hormones.
perfect example.
Doesn't increase the levels.
No?
No.
It balances them.
So it's important that, all this is about balance. The 2 key words with fatty acids are balance and moderation. Doesn't take a lot, especially if you get off the bad stuff. Doesn't take a lot, and rebalance. So we're a precise piece of machinery, okay? Depression is too much prostaglandin 2. That's why it's in so many itis diseases. It's a natural chemical thing. I mean, a guy in '91 at Berkeley proved that the rebalancing of the eicosanoids through dietary manipulation of essential fatty acids, especially the LC, PUFAs, right? What happens is, you can make a person depressed or not depressed with these fats alone. Now what's interesting is that after these papers that he did, published in medical journals and that, and the doctor came out with a book called Beyond Prozac, this guy basically disappeared. And the rumor has it that he was paid $20 million by the maker of Prozac to retire. I would ask for more.
Okay,